This meeting is being recorded. Welcome back, everyone, to a TVI Patreon catch-up. Julian's currently burgling a house, so he's doing it live from the crime scene.
We gotta be quick, man.
They're in bed. But you're out. We'll explain why that's you're not got your normal nice mic. You're just straight into the laptop, mate.
1, 2. This is okay though, isn't it?
It's all right. Sounds all right. If you're watching this on Patreon, it's fine. I'll probably touch up the audio in GarageBand when I put the audio file on. So if you listen to this, it'll probably sound better than if you'd watched the video.
Another person over it.
Yeah, I might just dub in Joe Rogan over the top.
Talk about
Anyway,
bears fighting crocodiles on
DMT, eating elk meat, and taking saunas all the time.
Yeah, I saw that one today. I do that sauna thing quite a lot though, but it seems to fuck my chest up a bit, man.
They're good now and again. I wouldn't want to do it too often. Do the cold. Cold's better for you than heat.
I feel like I relate to Rogan a bit, like that obsessive kind of like all clinical and that.
Yeah.
He's like it all the time. Like I do it for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm like a lazy asshole.
I think you just got to pick a couple of things that you're just comfortable to do forever. Do you know what I mean? It's like I went vegan, and I do cold showers. I do bits of breath work now, like when I'm out and about, like
Breathe, don't you? Yeah.
I breathe sometimes, but I do. Yeah, I've got there are 3 things that I know I can manage easy, and I'm sorted.
With the gym, actually, I've been consistent with that, like since I was young. I've had like years off of it, but only because I was working and gigging and that. Like,
yeah.
I've always been good at that, but the food I'm on point with actually at the moment.
That's good. I'm just returning to normal with food since I had that gastroenteritis.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this week, over the weekend was when my stomach finally went back to normal. Like I didn't, I just felt like I wasn't still just getting it out of my system. It's brutal, man. That was like 3 weeks I had that. Fucking rough.
Yeah.
But did shave off some kilograms, mate. But it's
smooth. The hose.
But no, it's not that. It's a cheat. It was basically a lucky, happy accident that I was trying to lose.
Yeah, I mean, you can shake weight like that, though.
Yeah, turns out
I had to see my abs when I was ill I was ill for a while, man, and then I've got some tight obliques. The arrows. I'm like, yeah, man, like Jesus.
Got dysentery, but you just keep looking at yourself in the mirror. But yeah, it was. I thought I weighed myself today. I thought I'd definitely put on, like I reckon I thought I'd put on a tiny bit, just because since I started eating again properly, like last week, whatever, I've not watched what I've eaten too much. And over the weekend in Birmingham, I was pretty much eating and drinking. I was having beers, everything. I was like, I reckon I've had a bit of a bad patch. Weighed myself. I put on, what was it? 100 grams. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's a small shit, isn't it? That's all that is.
100 grams?
Yeah, like 1/10 of a kilogram.
That's like 100
nothing.
grams of like food is nothing.
It's nothing. So that was all I'd put on, considering I had
It's not like
nothing. I had a weekend where I was literally, basically, because last time we did I don't know if it was on a catch up or on a podcast, I was saying about I had this crazy plan for Birmingham where I was getting a late train up on Friday, do the gig, get the last train back to London. Then I was going to have the day in London on Saturday, get a train up at dinner time, stay over, get the first train back Sunday. I had it all planned and booked. Classic fucking British trains. Friday, I get the train up, all good. I'm at the gig. I'm literally sat side of stage. I was closing, right? I watched Tom Wrigglesworth get introduced on stage in the middle, and I check my phone, and I get an email saying your train's been cancelled. So I'm like, all right, I'm stuck in Birmingham then, am I? If I'd have got it 5 minutes before, me and Tom could have switched. He could have closed, I could have got in the middle, and I would have made the train before. But I was just literally stranded. I was like, I'm fucked. And then luckily, I sort of just said to the sound guy, look, I think I'm stranded. And he just went, oh, let me call the hotel. Because obviously they booked me in a hotel for the Saturday. He just called the hotel. They had accidentally put me down for a Friday and Saturday night booking.
Fucking Rizzo.
So I ended up but I had nothing with me. I didn't have a toothbrush. I didn't have a deodorant. Didn't have any change of clothes.
What
So
did you them for?
So I was just happy that I just had a normal weekend and just stinking.
I mean, extra baggage, you didn't need it. Was perfect.
But all I did, got up Saturday night. So it's Friday night, we end up having an impromptu night out. Me and just the other comics just end up just getting pissed, having a lovely time.
Pissed.
We had some drinks at the gig, and then we went back to the hotel, and then just sat there. And Gareth Richards was in town doing a gig, so he came and met us.
Oh, cool. What gig was he doing? Just the Tonic, maybe?
No, he was supporting Frank Skinner on tour over at the Alexandria Theatre or something.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So we just sat in a hotel bar till like 2 a.m. Had a lovely time.
There's a nice gay club like that's just right near the Glee, isn't there? Have you been in there?
No.
I went in there. Oh, no. No.
Do you reckon I've been in there, mate?
And I was just fucking on stage, like sober. Like, the vibe, man, was contagious.
Yeah, they're good fun.
The only night I've danced sober, like, all night.
Yeah.
My life. Except when I was
we just sat in a hotel bar, got pissed, and then Saturday morning got up, went and bought deodorant, bought an emergency clothes. I bought like a change of clothes.
We get down Primark, man. Fucking.
Nah, mate, I ain't buying that shit.
A whole outfit.
I know, but it's bad quality. It'll be shit. I bought stuff that I'd actually wear again. Do you know what I mean? And won't just lose shape after 3 washes.
Trying to say about £3.50.
I've told you about when I bought a pair of Primark jeans, and because I'd spilt coffee on my jeans on the way to a gig, and I couldn't get the stain out. So I had to run into Primark, buy a pair of jeans, put them on.
Just fall off by 6 p.m.
Well, mate, it started raining as I was walking to the gig. The fucking jeans started getting longer on my legs. Like,
Then I stopped growing.
I got to the gig like Dr. Octopus.
In Malaysian fields, they just grow them.
Yeah, so that's why I don't buy Primark stuff, mate. I don't even buy. I'm really reticent with like H&M, and the lowest on the ladder on the high street I go tends to be Zara, because their stuff, the quality is just better than H&M.
Yeah, I've got a Zara jacket. It's all right.
Yeah, they're fine, but ultimately I prefer something a bit better. They last forever, mate. Pay a bit more, and you won't have to buy another one.
Expensive jeans, but they still end up getting I mean, I wear them to death, I suppose, but they still end up fucking up a bit.
Yeah, but then that's why you get nudies, and they free repairs for life, mate.
Yeah, they were going to send us some, weren't they?
No, not what nudie jeans were they?
Yeah, do you remember?
Oh shit, there was there. Well, that's true.
Nudie jeans, man.
What happened there?
I don't know.
Oh, I remember. That was pre-lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah,
my mate worked. He was working. My mate works in fashion, and he'd heard the podcast when we were talking about him. He was like, "Mate, I'll get you some fucking free ones." And then the world ended. So I reckon the nudie aren't too keen to send out free jeans at the minute. We've not sold any in 18 months.
The nudie CEOs at the job centre. Probably see him in the queue later. I'll ask him.
Yeah, it's but it was nice. It was a nice impromptu weekend in Birmingham in the end.
That's nice though, isn't it? I've got like 4 days gigging this week. I did Vauxhall on Friday. It was all right.
How was it? Was it quite? Because when I did it the other weekend, the Friday was leery as fuck. The Saturday was great. What was it like on a Friday?
Friday was quite quiet. It was a burning hot day.
Oh yeah.
And it was all right. They put you on first, didn't they? And then they put like the 10 minutes after you.
I don't know. I was closing, mate, wasn't I?
Yeah, but when you close, you go on first.
That's not how closing works. What are you on about?
That's what I thought, but I did the longest set, but I was on first.
I don't. Yeah, maybe they just whoever they've got, they just work the sort of the running order around who they got on. So I had to go on last both shows.
Okay. Yeah. What days was that? Friday and Saturday?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's weird. Yeah, so it was quiet though. That's not, yeah, I could take quiet. It's just, yeah, when I did it the Friday night, it was rammed full of just pissed nutters, mate. So it was like, but they weren't malicious. They were just young piss people. It's like, so it was like it's like being a school teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit like that. It's a great club though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to, yeah. But, and then Saturday I was in Reading. That was fucking lovely, man.
Really, I've not done that. Is that still at the same place that the old Jonglers was?
Yeah, but it was so nice.
I've not done that gig in so long. I used to really like it. I used to really love the sound guy there, Rich. Is he still there?
He's still there, yeah.
Oh, that's
He was
nice.
telling me about, I mean, this is on Patreon and he talks, doesn't he? He's a lovely.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's lovely, but yeah, he's literally, he walks into the dressing room like, you'll just be sitting in there, he'll be coming in, yeah, and he just talks at you for like 12, 15 minutes. And then at the end of it, he goes, do you want a light? And then you're like, yeah, can I get one at 17? And he just walks out. You know, it's like a proper like monologue.
Thingy's brother, isn't he?
Ethan. Oh no, hang on. What's his name? Adam Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Very different people.
I never really knew Adam Crow, to be honest. I just gigged with him once. He was like a kickboxer when he was saying.
Yeah, but he was quite. Adam was quite quiet and intense, whereas Rich is like a big bubbly. All right, just a real chatter.
I remember Adam being really like confident on stage, but like soft, but solid.
Yeah, with no jokes.
Really?
No. He was all right actually. He wasn't going to blow anyone away, was he? But he was a solid comic. But I've the funniest thing. He's somebody, and this is on Patreon, so this doesn't go any further. But I once saw him doing something post gigs that made me laugh because it was like something you'd think a 15-year-old boy would do. But it was at the Melbourne Comedy Festival. First time I went there, 2011. I was in the bar, like there was sort of like a performers bar where everyone who does shows ends up like because you need to have a pass from the festival to get in. We're just having, like me, I think I was with Tom Allen and Sean Walsh and a bunch of people. We're just having some drinks. And then we saw Adam over the other side of the bar. And like none of us really knew him that well, knew him to say hello to. But we just watched him and he was with a girl I think he'd met at the show, whatever, his show. And he was obviously like, took her there to impress her and all that stuff. And we looked over about an hour later and he was showing her how to do a roundhouse kick. But like I'm talking... He had her sort of standing about 6 foot away from him, and he was doing roundhouse kicks like past her face, and we were just like, "Mate, that is not impressing her, mate. She's like a 30-year-old woman. What are you doing?"
Well, if you clipped her in her face,
just laid her out and then just ran away.
Fucking hell, that's so funny.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? It's one of them things like if you're a 16-year-old's disco at a fucking. Like
even then, like I'd be cringing.
Oh, you'd be cringing. Imagine being like a 35-year-old bloke and doing it. It's not on. It's just not on, mate.
He's over in Hollywood, isn't he? Acting or something.
I think he is, yeah. Because there was another guy like it. Like I always thought I'd get him mixed up now and again. Cole Parker, innit?
Cole Parker, fucking hell.
He was so intense. Like never blinked.
I never knew him really, but I gigged with him once. I did a gig. It was when I was doing like 10 minutes middle for like mirth in my first few months of doing stand up. And I was so nervous. He went on, he died so hard. I just cancelled the gig. I didn't go on.
Oh, that is quality, mate.
Nice, like size audience. It was in Croydon or somewhere like that.
So what happened? What do you mean? How did... They just decided, let's call it quits, man.
Yeah, the guy said, this ain't working. And
That's
I remember,
brutal.
It's when I first heard the word banker. You know, when your best jokes, your banker.
Yeah.
Like, it got nothing. He went, well, that was my banker.
Oh, God.
And he just bombed hard, man. I was in the toilets, and I'm just before I thought I was going on, and the people in the, you could hear them.
Yeah.
Fucking shit. He weren't like an act that was like that. I mean, he did well normally, didn't he? It was
Yeah, he
like,
did all right. He was a jobbing comic.
yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's not a really reflection on him. It's just a funny kind of thing that they cancelled the gig.
Fuck, man. That's brutal. What's that? Fire brigade, mate. Did you see all the floods?
Yeah, Stratford Station, wasn't it, or something like
There
that?
was loads around London, man. Just like there was some in West London. Yeah, all over the place. That's bad, isn't it? That's weird. I've never known floods in London before.
Yeah.
The odd drain overflows, whatever. But I've never seen flooding in like loads of places.
I know, it's fucked up.
It's got to be a bad sign. I mean, it's a bad thing, isn't it? For all the people whose houses got
Find
flooded.
that there's a flood coming when everyone's flooded.
But I mean, it's got to be like something to do with it being just London getting too built up.
Wasn't it like a loose water pipe or something? Or
No. It was rain. It was rain, and it caused like there was no way for it to run off because the sewers filled up essentially. So
I think
they
we've got a good sewage system to handle rain.
yeah, but I think it's because basically the more you build buildings on soft like grassland, imagine, and you turn it into concrete, there's more like water doesn't sink anywhere, does it? So the more London gets built up, the less place there is. The only place there is for rain to go is into sewers, and they can't handle the volume.
Because as opposed to rain getting soaked up by just desert land, like deserted land.
Yeah, just like marshland and parks,
grass and trees.
Yeah. So like, apparently there's loads of areas that are like loads of parts of East London are built. Loads of all them new developments of flats in East London, like Hackney and all that shit. But they're built on like super high risk flood areas.
Fucking hell.
So that's why
buy that land for a little cheap little fucking.
Well, that's what the developers do. The developers get it cheap, and apparently a lot of these buildings where they've like all these
straight up in the sky.
Well, they build these cool sort of apartment complexes. Apparently, there's no apartments on the bottom floor. Just have life rafts hanging off the side of the building.
Maybe with those rings of like a duck thing.
No, but apparently there's no flats on the bottom floor of a lot of these. The bottom floor is sort of kept for non-residences because they've basically put in the design that, well, no one can live there because it's got a high risk of flooding. Which when they're doing that, you're like, I think you might... That's a weird place to build it, mate, if you know it's going to get flooded.
I bet they would build there if they could, these developers, just quickly sell it, but must be some law.
No, these are the ones that they've built. I'm talking about all the ones that have gone up in a lot of East London.
They would put a ground floor if they could fucking get...
They would, yeah. But apparently a lot of them haven't got a ground floor of apartments. They've got ground floor of other stuff like storage units and stuff that they're happy to get flooded.
It's only getting worse as well.
Yeah.
I remember I took the kids years ago I took all of my kids to Cornwall and it rained for the whole 2 weeks. I was so gutted, and I thought next year 100% Spain.
Yeah.
And I took them all to Spain. I searched this amazing place, all my kids, and like we got there. It was the worst rain 200 years. I was sitting in bed, and it was like the drainage system couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
It was just fucked. All the streets, I'd never seen anything like it.
That's brutal.
And I was sitting there looking out the window, and I could have cried. I had a lump in my throat. I just felt choked up looking out the window. We were in a really high apartment. It was a really nice view, just watching this monsoon.
Yeah.
It's so horrible.
Yeah, it's rough, isn't it? It was mad. I mean, the rain was pretty crazy. I saw festivals like there was that Stand and Call In festival that's in Hertfordshire that had to get just called off at the weekend because it just flooded within like an hour of the rain starting. Like sort of shitloads came down. Because here I didn't think it was that bad. I was looking out like in the garden. It was pissing it down, but it felt like I only pissed it down for about an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah, it was fine, man.
Yeah, but apparently just some areas just got shitloads.
Yeah.
So Something's going on, mate.
As long as I'm all right.
That's the way to think.
Whereas me and Raggy's all right.
Oh yeah. Have you found someone to look after them when you go off to your gigs?
My sister, yeah, reluctantly.
Yeah, yeah.
She watches this, by the way. I don't know if she watches it. No,
right.
it's really good. Yeah, she just saved it. Really appreciate it.
Because we're only patrons in Bristol. We're doing a gig in Bristol on Thursday at the Beacon Theatre. I think
I've done that before, have you?
I don't think I've done it before. I've also not seen any tweets or anything. Like, normally you get tagged in.
Before, actually.
Right.
Avalon have had it for a while, haven't they?
Oh, have they? I don't know.
I did a preview there after Edinburgh once, years ago.
It's good times a preview.
I know. What do you call it? A pro view?
I don't know. I've never heard it. I've never heard of it before.
Post view.
Yeah. It's a new, but I've never heard anyone ever do one before.
It was probably in like October or something, or late September. Avalon just, I don't know what that was about.
A tour show. Wouldn't it just be a tour show?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, if it's your Edinburgh show and you do it, because you preview it before, do it in Edinburgh. Yeah. If you do it afterwards, it must just be a tour show.
Yeah, I guess so. Me and Rory O'Hanlon.
Yeah. We should get him on, Rory. I find him quite funny.
I said that to him. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's
very dry, isn't he? He's opening for Chowdhury.
Chowdhury's new Gora.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, Jimmy was for a couple, I think, or one, mate. Oh, he did a few, maybe. I don't know. Jimmy McGee.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't think so. He hasn't told me.
That's what Chowdhury said.
I reckon Chowdhury's pulling your leg, mate. He's telling you some whoppers. Jimmy would mention that. I've chatted to him a bunch.
Jimmy might have just seen it as a gig, though. He might. Why would he?
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Really like little London-y ones, I think. Not.
Yeah. No, I can't. I was going to tell a funny Jimmy story there, but I think actually. No, it's not. It's not even for Patreon. It's too. He'd be upset if I told it, because he's basically he had a relationship during lockdown and it went wrong and he was really sad about it. But now he's back on the horse of being a marauding bachelor, mate. Like, he's not really been back to his old self because he's still cut up about the relationship going wrong. But this sort of last couple of weeks, he's just suddenly just found his groove, and he just told me some funny stories of things that have happened to him.
I'd love to speak to him about stuff like that because I went through some shit in lockdown last year.
Yeah, but his was like really sort of sweet and nice, and it just went shit. Like he'd not been in a relationship for over a decade, like something like 11 years. Yeah, and he was just a bachelor, proper old school bachelor, and I didn't want to be in a relationship, but just sort of just went around and just like, because he's a good-looking, charming guy.
Wives, not really.
Well, he was just like, he's just a proper single man, but really like lived the life and enjoyed it. There was no bleakness to it. He didn't want a relationship.
Yeah.
And then he just sort of, and we were all like, just thought he'd never meet anyone, and then out of the blue, there was this person who'd sort of been in and around his life for a bit. And we all thought, actually, I think when he talks about her, it's slightly different to normal. And then they'd had a lovely little relationship and he was really happy. And it was like, oh, fuck, man. This is what he's been looking for. And then it just sort of just ended quite abruptly and quite sadly. And it was like, it was that horrible thing where he's like, it's exactly like probably why he's been not wanting a relationship for so long. And yeah, the fear of that happening, innit? And then it happens. You're like, well, fucking, I knew it. But now he's back, mate. He's finally got a little, like, skip in his step again. So it's good. He's back on the horse. But I can't say actually any of the stories that he's told me because that would be a proper betrayal of trust.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but they're good fun.
What happened then?
I'll tell you after I turn this off.
If you whisper it into the mic.
So yeah, we're doing Bristol on Thursday for any patrons in the area. Beacon Theatre, us two and somebody called an act I've never gigged with. Here we go. I've got it on an email. Anya Magliano. So come and see us three.
Fun, innit?
Where are you this week? Where are the other gigs?
Ashby something near Derby.
Is that
Ashby,
weird Ashby de la Zouche or something? It's got some weird French sounding name.
lovely little gig room. I've been looking to cancel it right up until, but I'm just going to do it. I'm just trying to get stage time, you know what I mean, at the moment. And then Bristol, Thursday, obviously. Friday, a place called Ely, Ely.
Oh, Ely. I know. Where's Ely?
Near Cambridge, innit?
Yeah, I've done a gig there in the past. I think it's quite a nice little place.
Yeah, and then I was going to be in Nottingham, Just the Tonic, headlining, but they pulled that, and I'm now.
How come they've pulled it? Because I'm in Nottingham at the weekend. I'm at the Glee.
I don't know why. Daryl rung me today. When he rings me, I'm like, "What have I done?" I'm thinking. Every time he rings me, "You're on stage in 3 minutes. Where are you?"
Yeah.
But and then Leighton Buzzard, he switched me over to with Milton Jones and Tez Ilias.
Where's Leighton Buzzard?
It's a bit near, actually. It's just below, like, Birmingham.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
I think it's called Leighton Buzzard, isn't it?
There is a place called Leighton Buzzard. I don't think I've ever been to it. But that'll be all right. Nice little gigs.
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. So I'm in Nottingham at the Glee. If any patrons are in Nottingham, come down Friday or Saturday, mate.
What's Cardiff Glee like?
I really like it. It's a cool city as well, Cardiff. I really get on with it.
It's so far though, isn't it?
It is far, and also like it's one of them ones where the trains are always well expensive. Like, you know, there's some places in the UK where trains are cheap. Like, you go to Birmingham for the weekend. That's an hour and a half, 2 hour train, depending on which route you take. It's always like maximum 30 quid each way. You know, even if you book it like the day before, you can get it for about 40 quid. Like Cardiff, you book the Cardiff train about 6 weeks before, and it's like fucking £140 return or something.
What, Cardiff's good, is it?
Cardiff's always expensive to.
I mean, sorry,
it's expensive. Glasgow's expensive as shit, man. Like Glasgow, whenever I do Glasgow, I always have to fly because the train's like 200 quid return, and you can get a flight for 40 quid.
And where's good? Did you say Birmingham?
Birmingham, Manchester. You can always get cheap trains too. That's sort of, you know, Nottingham's relatively expensive actually. Nottingham, Leeds, that line's a bit shit.
Friday that was like 200 return to Manchester, but I did look the day before.
Yeah. Like that Newcastle line, that's normally quite expensive unless you get it in advance.
It's weird trains, isn't it? They just fucking change prices just each day.
Yeah. Like they've definitely gone up since lockdown ended. I think they're all trying to recoup some money from how much they lost. Because even Birmingham this weekend, like, you know, before lockdown, shit, man, you could get a train to. I used to be able to get a train to Birmingham if you took that slow line that goes from Marylebone. That was like 8 quid up. You couldn't get it back. They stopped early, but like you just even like the day before, 12 quid or something. It's wicked. But now it's just they've definitely jumped up to about 30. But this is boring for anyone who doesn't travel on trains regularly.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I mean, fucking. Although I will say, this is the nuts and bolts of comedy, innit? It's just most of comedy is fucking travelling, innit?
McCaffrey had to cancel 15 gigs because he had COVID.
Oh fuck!
Screwing about the dollar.
I messaged him actually to see how he was getting on, and yeah, he was saying he was pretty rough, but he's through the worst of it.
Yeah, he's feeling a lot better today.
And because the thing is with McCaffrey as well, and I say this as a mate, he's a bit of a like hypochondriac, isn't he? Like to him, he'd have been like the anxiety about having COVID would be one of the worst things.
Well, it was mashed and like physically, it was like
yeah.
But he's got a newborn as well, isn't he? And
yeah. He said the newborn, like he said she was all right. He said she was sniffly and a bit coldy and stuff.
The temperature like the other day, and they took her to A&E, and she was all right though.
Yeah. So I mean, the temperature. If babies just get temperatures, man. But yeah, like I can tell that, you know, how Paul feels about all illnesses and germs. He's a real germaphobe, isn't he? He doesn't get on the tube because he's got a phobia of the tube and stuff. So
I've been on the tube a few times. I don't like it either now since lockdown.
No one likes it, but like, it's definitely now feels a bit more. What's the word? Claustrophobic, innit? It just feels like you're like I'm fucking because you had to say for how long had you not been underground in a tube?
It was fucked up, man.
Yeah, it is weird, especially when it's busy as well, man. Like, it's just a bit gross, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like the train the other day, like, yeah, there's no rhyme nor reason to masks and stuff on the tube. Like, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what you got on your face, mate. If you're all stuck in a tube, you're breathing the same air, innit?
I know. It's so fucking weird. Like, the rules, like, now they've loosened a bit, but at the gym, like, it's a David Lloyd, so it's got like a restaurant, a pool, sauna, and all that. But in the restaurant, you had to wear a mask if you're standing up. But you could go and sit in the sauna with 10 people.
Yeah. Wank each other off.
There was a guy in there with 2 masks in the sauna.
Oh man, come on.
I couldn't fucking I was like, if you scared of COVID, man, maybe a sauna and the best place. And everyone like laughed. I was like, I didn't mean it like,
Yeah.
but like, it was just like he had a little mask on, like a cloth one, but everyone's soaking wet.
Yeah.
He had this plastic thing around it, but it wasn't like the normal visors. It was like,
Oh, the ones that are shaped. Like,
this was like full up with air. It was already thick, kind of thing around his face. I said, "Are you not hot in that?" He said, "No, it cools me down actually."
He's lying, man.
Waiting until Monday the 19th to take it off. I was like, "Your COVID like ain't stopping. Then it's just like, just take off now, man."
That's funny. Yeah, he's like, you know, I feel bad for people like that are just like, I get it though, you know, but I just feel bad for people that it is so sort of, it's just, yeah, they're super paranoid about it. Because I get people that are like vulnerable people, like people that have got actual illnesses that they could get fucked.
Don't go in the sauna.
Well, that's what I mean. I think, but most of they wouldn't be in a sauna. I don't reckon they'd avoid it. But that guy just, you know, you meet some people that are just super paranoid and, yeah, you know, it's just, I think it must be a hard way to live, is what I mean, to constantly have that sort of stress and anxiety about the world.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, we should probably wrap it up because I'm sitting here and it's literally getting dark and I'm disappearing on camera.
Quite cool, actually.
Is it?
They're like Sinead O'Connor.
Do you know, I think I must have said it on here before. I used to not be able to listen to that song, man. It used to take me back to such a traumatic period of my life. Like, and it's not traumatic now. I look at it and I was just a silly kid, but I was like 17. And I was so...
No, you weren't 17.
What?
Was Sinead O'Connor?
No, not when that came out.
Oh.
But when I was 17, I basically I fell just in love with this girl. And like we were really close and like we spent loads of time together and I just didn't have to... I was...
Sinead O'Connor.
But then I finally like declared my love for her just one night. I just couldn't hold it in anymore.
Oh, no.
And then she just knocked me back and was just like, no, I just want to be friends. And I built it up in my head that like we were just going to fucking, you know, be in love forever and all that. And then I remember it was a Friday night and we were just pissed, like all of our mates, and like sort of we ended up together just like, you know, we were like dancing and stuff. We were like best mates for about 6 months up to before this point. And I obviously just developed this fucking feeling. And she knocked me back and then was like, "Nah, I just want to be friends." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, yeah." And then just went home that night and was like fetal position.
6 months as she comes and tells you about boy trouble. Like, yeah.
I went home.
Knocks growing up, I think though, like they fucking like you don't need them. It's best to go through the whole life without any, but like.
No, I know, but it teaches you
come, aren't they?
About the reality of love and life. But I listened to Sinead O'Connor on loop over the weekend. That weekend, just in my room, just crying.
Went to the doctor. Guess what he told me? He said, "Girl, you better."
It's brutal, man.
No matter what.
So when I hear that song, it takes me back there. And up until about 7 or 8 years ago, it gave me a real like physical response, and now I'm fine with it.
You just piss yourself. I always remember that because I was in a children's home when that song was out, so it reminds me of that a lot. And it don't seem that bleak though, but not really. But like, the cry. What was I going to say? The song that gets me. Do you remember that Shola Armour song? It was like number one for ages.
Oh, I Love Your Smile, that one.
No, it was. Oh God, I need to say it.
Shalama. Hang on, let me have a look.
Shola Armour. When somebody
Oh, yeah.
reaches for your heart.
Yes.
My girlfriend left me. I was with her for 4 years. She left me for someone else just as that was number one.
Brutal.
And I remember buying her the single because she liked it.
Oh, God.
And then I was in Our Price or something in Lewisham. And that song was just everywhere. And all I was thinking about was their love.
Oh, God.
Like,
they were just sitting there listening to that song together.
Yeah. Reaches for your heart.
Oh, man.
He just reached for her heart, just wooed her over that way with his Fiesta XR2. And it's fucking, oh, mate, it was brutal.
Yeah, it's rough. But,
Bittersweet Symphony was out in June that year, and that helped me through it.
Yeah.
And I met Richard Ashcroft, and I said to him, "Bittersweet Symphony helped me through a really difficult time, man.
Yeah.
Thank you."
What did he say?
And he said, "No, you're welcome, man." And then someone told me afterwards that's the worst song you could have brought up to him because he was going through like a court case about that song at the time.
Oh, God. But he would have still appreciated it. He's not,
He was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah, so
There we go. Let's not get into
wrote that song, didn't he? Prince wrote that Sinead O'Connor song.
Yeah, I love his version. It's really, I can listen to his version fine. It doesn't remind me of anything, but yeah, it's just a Sinead O'Connor. Prince is the best, mate. I'd say Prince dying is the most sad I've ever been about a musician dying. That's the one that affected me the most. Like sometimes, like, I'd almost say that sometimes when a celebrity, like before that, a singer would die.
Harry Glitter's going to hit you hard, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be tough, man. I've only just about got over Epstein.
I just got over Peter Sutcliffe, mate. Down.
But yeah, I remember, but people would get upset about singers dying. I'd be like, but you didn't know them, and you might like their music, but I don't understand that connection. Then Prince died, and I was just like, for about a week, I was just so sad.
I was weirdly upset when Christopher Hitchens died. Like, I didn't know him, but I was so into his stuff.
Right.
And then he got cancer, and then he died. I was really gutted about that.
Yeah.
Prince, I was gutted about. My sister was a mad Prince fan, so I grew up with him on all the time, watching his concerts and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is gutted, isn't it?
Yeah. Because he was quite young as well. It wasn't like
he died of drugs, didn't he? Wasn't he like on like?
Well, wasn't it prescription painkillers? He was like addicted to for years, and
Americans are fucked with that shit, aren't they?
Yeah, man, they love them. It's like, just take. What's wrong with paracetamol, mate? Just take a couple of paracetamol and get on with your day.
Have a Piriton if you need to kip. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's weird, but they are good fun though. I have taken some prescription painkillers over the years that I can see why you get. It's like taking, but they're like actual drugs. You take 2 tramadols, you might as well be on fucking ketamine or something. It's proper strong. So it's just like it's like doctor approved hard drugs.
I mean, I got to be so careful with shit like that. I'm just so to be on it. I almost, when I had my root canal, I said I might get some Valium. And the dentist said, "Have you got some at home?" I'm like, "No, I don't do drugs, man."
Yeah.
Expensive, but like, I was thinking of getting some when I have some. Like, I've got to have a second root. I've got to go to a specialist.
I've got to have a root canal.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to a specialist, are you?
Well, no, I've got my dentist here. Is just good. I mean, yeah. I need to. I'm going for the assessment.
An absolute fucking moron.
Your dentist.
My dentist. He said. He said, "Oh, specialist's going to have to do it." He'd already half done it and he couldn't do it. And then he said to me, "I'll go and find a specialist." I said, "Can you give me like the documents so I can take them there?" He said, "Yeah, what do you want?" And then he got 6 X-rays up. I can't read X-rays.
Yeah.
Layman, are they?
No.
I said, and then he got 6 X-rays. He said, "Which one do you want to take?" It's like, know which one. I said, what is that even my tooth? And he's going, yeah, that's your tooth. I said, what? From which angle's it from?
That's funny.
And then the other dentist said, oh no, that's not the tooth, that's the root. Like he could have so annoying me.
You need to get a new dentist, mate. The police car's just pulled up over the road.
What's that?
There's a police car just pulled in. There's basically a little road directly opposite me. It's like a little close that goes in. You know, it's about 100 metres, 50 metres down the back. And it's like, I think it's a little row of council houses. And there's always trouble in there. It's never spilled out anywhere over here. Like I never see anyone from there or anything. But there's always, like I'd say once every month, there's a police car that has to go down there and deal with some shit. I was fascinated by it. It's just a little tiny road.
How about that little cul-de-sac thing?
Yeah, the one over the road. It's just like there's always beef in there, man. But I don't know what it is. But there's a police car just sat in there now. I'm gonna go and be nosy.
Domestic stuff.
Yeah, man. Right, I'm gonna go anyway. Thanks, patrons, for listening.
Thanks.
We've got a new episode this week. Maybe maybe I can't do it this weekend. Maybe the week after we do another get together, mate. Now I'm back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be nice. We could do our confessional. Remember we talked about doing a special where we talk about all our confessional stuff.
Yeah. This is when we're going to lose patrons.
No, but if patrons who come to it, they're the only ones that get to hear it. It's going to be a special. I reckon that'd be fun. Like you've got to come to the get together
with something. Then
yeah, everyone's got to confess to something.
Bring a bottle. You got to bring secret. You wouldn't tell anyone.
Yeah, except us. Because who are you going to trust with your secret more than two comedians that say everything out loud?
When I first got sober, about 15 years ago, I had a sponsor, and that's what we have to do. Like step 4 is write down all of our things, blah, 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 that things we're ashamed of and see our part in it and stuff. But he said, start with your worst thing you wouldn't tell anyone that you've done, even as a kid. And he said, and start with that and then the rest will be easy. And he said, look, to make it feel easier, we was in a little cafe in Charing Cross. He said, I'll tell you mine. He's a really softly spoken homeopath, Irish guy. He told me his, right? And I swear to God, because he was so sincere. It was such a funny, it was so funny. I was crying with I couldn't compose.
Was it? I know you don't have to say what it was. Was it really bad?
It was just, it was funny. I mean, kids are kids, aren't they?
Right, yeah.
But it was so funny. Because he went, but he was one of them guys, when they get embarrassed, they go really red.
Yeah.
He's going really red, and I couldn't stop laughing.
That's funny.
It didn't make him feel good.
All right, yeah, we'll organise our fest hole get together.
Not be laughing at you people.
Yeah, we might laugh, but the laughing will be cathartic.
Yeah.
Right, let's end this. Look how dark it's got, mate. I've just got a little red flashing light coming through the window from the police car.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. Right. Thanks, patrons. Take it easy. Bye.